Laurie, welcome back to my channel. So today is another School Tip Saturday video, and in this video I'll be sharing with you all some tips on how to stay efficient with your schoolwork and your leisure activities as well by reading faster. And it's also going to be a part of my productivity series, since this is going to help you be more productive and efficient with your time, and it's going to help you spend a little bit less time reading your textbook, and it will give you a little bit more time to do other things. So one thing that I've been doing for a really long time, and I would definitely recommend for you all if you want to read faster, is to use a ruler when you're reading and just underline all the important information. So it does help you prepare for outlining your textbook. You could also use a highlighter if you prefer. I just would rather underline because it's more subtle. And it can also help you keep track of how far you've gone if you get lost and distracted. And then it helps you avoid rereading and rereading again the same sentences because you can't focus. So by having your ruler, you know exactly where you're at and you can just continue on. And it also helps you not skip ahead too, because it's kind of hiding the text that's coming, so you really have to focus on every line, which helps you process the information better in my opinion. Another thing I've been using for quite some time is the speaking tool on my MacBook. So whether you're reading a textbook or a news article online, on your Mac you can highlight the text that you want to read, or I think in iBooks you don't even have to highlight, and you right click and select start speaking, and the computer will read it to you. It kind of sounds like a robot a little bit, and sometimes it sounds weird, but if you read along you can go a little bit faster. And if it's something that's less important and you don't have to process as much as the information, let's say just a news article for fun, then you can even play it as you're getting ready for school, or even if you're driving or something. So kind of killing two birds with one stone. I don't recommend multitasking for schoolwork, but when it's more just for fun, it's totally okay. Another similar and perhaps better method that kind of goes along the same line is to use Audible. As you guys know, I'm kind of crazy with Audible. I listen to so many audiobooks. But one thing that I did recently, and I found extremely smart, and I can't believe I didn't think of that ever before, is to listen to the audiobook as I read along in the book. So I read #GirlBoss by Sophia Amoruso. I was reading it in the book as I was listening to it at the same time, and because I was getting two types of input at the same time, I was able to put it at 1.5 or 2 times speed, which is something that I kind of do with all my audiobooks now, that I realized I could do that just to be able to listen to more of them because I listen to them faster. But if you're reading at the same time, I was able to follow along at 2.0 times, so twice as fast. Granted that this book is 4 hours and 44 minutes, it's not that long, but I still cut it in half in 2 hours. So in one night I was able to go through the entire book, which is 237 pages, so it's still pretty big, and I managed to go through the entire thing in the entire night. If you're going to go at 2.0 speed, I would definitely recommend taking breaks every half hour for at least 5 minutes, just a brain break, because it's kind of demanding and it can kind of get dizzy at some time. You can also slow it down a little bit and then pick it back up later if it's a chapter that you're less interested in or something like that. There's definitely a method to read a lot faster. And I would also recommend you use the ruler method at the same time, just to keep track, especially because it's going so fast that if you don't follow with the ruler and your eyes just get distracted for a second, you might be completely lost in your page, and it might take you several paragraphs to be able to find where you were again. Another thing you can try to cut down on your reading time is to use a skimming method. I believe there's several different ways to do it out there, but so basically skimming is focusing on the big lines and not having to read the whole thing from top to bottom. So especially for news articles or any type of blog posts and stuff, sometimes that could be a good way to decide whether or not you want to spend the time reading the entire thing. By looking at headings, images, graphs, that would be probably the first step at skimming. And then once you're done with that, you can also look at the who, what, where, when, how, why type of thing. That's usually in the first few lines. You kind of get to understand what this stuff is. You can also look for a statement of position or purpose, or even a conclusion. Usually that will tell you what the article is about. So skimming can be a really great tool to just get through something really fast. Another thing I do even with my textbook is not necessarily skimming the whole thing, because obviously I have to learn things, so I read in depth when it's explanation and definitions and stuff, but sometimes when they have examples, I'll just skim through them instead of reading the entire example, because most of my textbooks in business sometimes have paragraphs, like 3 examples of the exact same thing. And if I understand the concept and I don't need more explanation and examples to understand what's going on, I'll just skim through it and save myself a whole 5 minutes. And finally, the last thing I want to share with you all today is a really cool app that I discovered that has a lot of promise. It's called Sprint with a Z. And it's a reading text app with a patent technology where they basically show each word one by one instead of having a line in a little bubble, and they highlight the word, the letter that's in the middle of the word, but they move the word in a pattern that makes sense. Like, it's probably an algorithm and stuff. I don't really know computers that much, but it's made so you can read text way faster because you don't have to move your eyes. So instead of having to go left to right, left to right, left to right, you just stare at the circle and all the words appear one by one, and you can read much faster with this. So this sounds super cool. So what it says is that one word will appear at a time in a special visual frame, with each word positioned in an optimal position for fluent reading without having to move the eye. So yeah, so that's super cool. I've tried it just like with the little test they have, but that's definitely something I wish I could just do for all the books that I read. I feel like I would read so much faster. And you get to choose the speed too. So if it's a little bit too slow, like the blinking of the different words is too slow for you, you could still put it higher and stuff. It's really cool. Definitely has a lot of promise. So that's everything I had for this Cool Tip Saturday. I hope you learned a couple tips that might help you read a little bit faster. If you have any other tips that I did not mention, make sure to leave them in the comments below for everyone to see. And don't forget to come back next Saturday for another School Tip Saturday video. Thumbs up if you want more School Tip Saturday video. And yeah, thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!